Greetings, everyone. I have a story that was inspired by a video by my friend who calls himself I Am Hop Frog on YouTube. He did a story about an album that changed his life, was very important to him. And his story is, although it's really different than mine, it's about the same record. So I decided to tell my story about this album, and it's Diary of a Madman. Ozzy Osbourne, 1981 release. And let me just say, I was a huge Ozzy fan at this time in my life. I was probably between the ages of 13 and 15. And I was coming from this area of America, the Bible Belt, North Carolina. And when I was that age and you were coming from that area of the country, you were often inundated with these cassette tapes from churches who would warn against the evils of heavy metal music. And me and my friends would find these cassette tapes in their parents' house. My mom really didn't have any stuff like that around, but we would find it at other kids' houses and listen to them, and we would be intrigued at what they thought was evil. Like, oh, Black Sabbath, what's that? You know, we have to go look that up. So we would go listen to Black Sabbath, became fans, of course, like Black Sabbath, right? And so these Christian tapes kind of led us to this evil music. And then after we discovered what they were warning us about, we wanted to branch off and find the most evil we could. So this record cover appealed to me in so many ways because, okay, Ozzy was weird and he had a reputation anyway, but there's an actual upside down cross in the cover. And I thought, man, that was way over the top. So that intrigued my friends and I. And one friend in particular and I had a bond over music, a very close bond, and we loved Ozzy, we loved Iron Maiden, we loved all that stuff. And this record was important to us, and and I have many versions of it. I have the cassette, of course, and I have the 8-track, and I have 2 different versions on CD, and it's always been important to me. But when I bought the vinyl, which was the first way I ever bought the record, it was really important. It was during this time when me and my friend were very much into heavy metal music as teenagers, and I wanted this album so bad. So I saved up my money or whatever happened, and I went out and bought the record. And we thought that we should do something special when we open the record and play it. We should have some kind of like seance, I guess, if you will, or some kind of ritual, right? So what we did was we went to my friend's suburban home in his upstairs bedroom, moved all the furniture out. This is probably, I'm guessing it was 1982, 83 at the earliest, I think. So we moved all the furniture out from the middle of the room, and we drew a big circle in masking tape, and then made a pentagram out of masking tape, and on each point of the pentagram, and the pentagram was big enough to take up the whole room, the bedroom floor. So we put candles at each point, right? And we lit the candles. And then we have a knife, and we have the record in this very shrink wrap, this very record. And we have this thing where the parts that I remember are that we got in the middle of this pentagram, and we slit open the cover of the record. I can't remember if we slit the cover first or if we each slit our finger first. We may have slit our finger first, and then I think we became blood brothers. That was something kids did back then. You cut your fingers, and then you put them together, and your blood mixed, and you become blood brothers. So I think we did that. And then with the knife that we cut our fingers with, we opened the cellophane, and then we got the inner sleeve out, which is this right here. And then we put our blood on Randy Rhoads, and it's still there on the inner sleeve. We smeared our little fingerprints on the picture of Randy Rhoads, and he had already passed away. He had probably passed away that year that we opened this, or the year before, but very recently he had passed away. So as a tribute to him, we put our blood on his picture, and we put the record on, and we listened to it in the middle of this pentagram, I guess. And what we also did was we were very intrigued by all this writing up here on the inner sleeve, and there was more writing here. There was some weird scribbles down here that we couldn't decipher. So I guess we went to the library. I went to the library. One of us went to the library and looked up like witchcraft or whatever we could, and we figured out the alphabet that language was in. And here's the original, school lined paper that that I translated that language into alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Some question mark symbols here. I did a few things. My name, Mike. I did Ozzy here. Anyway, so we deciphered that, and we figured out that this here, this says the Ozzy Osbourne Band in that whatever witchcraft stuff. So if that's not weird enough, all that stuff I just showed you about our love of this record, and it is called Diary of a Madman. Beautiful. All these years, I have saved this. It's a little brown package. It says the opening of Ozzy. It's taped together. This is the actual candle wax that was that was lit on the pentagram on the floor. And I haven't opened it in all those decades, since 1982 or 83, whenever it was. I'm going to open it right now. I just want to see what's in here. I think it's wax from the candles. It's the first time I've opened it in all these decades. A demon's going to jump out. Woohoo! All right, here we go. Here we go. Man, it's folded up in there. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's the candle wax from when I opened Diary of a Madman for the first time. And it's got a little less candle wax in it right now. But anyway, that's my story. Go over to Hop Frog's page. It's I Am Hop Frog. He has some great stories he tells. His story about Diary of a Madman is way heavier, and it's great. You should check it out. But rock on. Ozzy Osbourne rules. Take it easy.